So I forgot to give you guys an update. You know, I went to visit Kirby Sage, baby.
Like, we're going to be going to YouTube and doing a stream in a second. So, like, a bunch of those people are probably in the chats right now. Goose gang in the house.
That's right.
In the house. In the house.
Oh.
In the house. In the house. In the house.
Baby.
In the house. In the
house. Baby. Yes.
In the house.
Right here. You guys are in the house now. Baby. 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 Yeah. I didn't know they were here, bro.
In the house.
Baby. Yeah. Big brains, these the IQ, probably the average IQ of the DeFi Kingdom scene. Here's what I had to say to them about it. Baby, visit Kirby Sage. Yeah.
Kirby Sage. Baby. Yes. Kirby Sage. Baby. Yes.
In the house. In the house. In the house. In the house. In the house.
Let's go. We got Bowling, baby. We got Dreamer, baby. Bolin's, you know, kind of sitting on the floorboard there. We got Sun Bear, baby. We got Dragon T, baby. Risen. Nobody cares about it. Baby. Yes. I love you. Baby. Yes. Baby. Yes. I love you. Baby. Yes.
DeFi Kingdoms, baby. DeFi Kingdoms for beginners. Do you not know anything about crypto? I got you. DeFi, decentralized finance. You got kids, you got a wife. DeFi Kingdoms, billions of dollars with Hero. Yes, baby, why? Amazing. GQ bot, he does. Yes. Even though there's no right or wrong way. Wonder where I'm at? Yes. Once upon a time, in the not too distant past. Baby. Yes.
Baby. Yes. I love you. Baby. Yes. Baby. Yes. Overboard there. Baby. Yes. It's gonna say
Let's go. My man right here. Crazy Basement Life. Saw him in the chat. Hitting him up. Okay. And recently saw, look at this. He's done a few videos in the past on DeFi Kingdoms, baby. And then he did this right after, did this awesome review on Dragon's Crossing. Yesterday, he did one on this Dragon crypto gaming blockchain. And then I didn't even see this one yet. Okay. So I'm like, I got to hit this guy up because they're really solid, awesome, classy videos. This dude's good. He's got potential. I like this guy. Got to get him in the house. I love you. Crazy Basement Life. How are you today, my man?
Bro, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm pumped. So much going. So this TV show, Next Crypto Gym. Okay, Jet hit me up yesterday. He wants to come back on the channel. The co-founder of the show wants to come on my little old channel again, second time, talk with updates, talking about what's going on with the show. I'm super pumped. I don't know if you guys heard George, I'm George. He did a quick little update yesterday about the show. And guess what? Guess what? Let's look at this real quick. Okay. What do you guys think? Who saw this? If you guys saw this, my heart skipped a beat. Okay. Because he's talking about a specific little show on here. Okay. A specific little project that he thinks right here. 21 hours ago, 5 takeaways from filming the Next Crypto Gym TV show. And he talks about this project that like won him over. And he was talking about don't judge a book by its cover, he said. Okay. And we know out there, we're skeptical. We've seen rug pulls. We've seen so many rug pulls out there. What do you think he's talking about there? What did George talk about last May on his channel? Kind of accused DeFi Kingdoms of being a rug pull, didn't he? That talked about also the 2 guys on the project are such good, hardworking, nice guys. Ooh, who could he be talking about there? It literally made my heart skip a beat. Okay. I'm so pumped. I cannot even hardly contain myself. Wait for the show. It's coming out in June-ish. Okay. Could even be as early as May, but June or July, more likely. Okay. And it's going to be in 150 different countries. It's global. It's going to be on Amazon Prime. He even talked about on the show, it may be being on Netflix. Okay. It's going to be on cable TV, several different networks, like over 14 different languages. Baby, we got Crypto Kong in the house, Sir Jules Staker. Okay. So I'm so pumped. I couldn't even sleep last night. So, which isn't totally unusual, but I had just gone 3 days in a row with good night's sleeps and was so tired again last night. Also last night, I got the training or the demo, like the pre-alpha demo for Dragon's Crossing, baby, the gameplay. And I'm going to be doing tons of videos on that. The only request they had was not to go live and do it. They want me to do a video and then they see it real quick and okay it, and then I can publish it. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of that with Dragon's Crossing gaming. I love Crazy Basement. I keep wanting to call you Crypto Basement Life, but it's Crazy Basement Life.
I know it's funny because I'm in my basement right now. That's the basement side of things. But I definitely, I should have done like Crazy Crypto or something, but I always hear everybody all over the place always say crazy, crazy, that's crazy, this is crazy, whatever. So that's why I incorporated crazy. But yeah, man, that demo is going to be awesome. If you need help with videos, hit me up for sure.
Dude, I desperately need to find. So Kong right here, Crypto Kong, he is setting my calendar for me. So I send him when I'm going to go live or what day. Like with us, we weren't totally sure today. Yep. You're getting out of school. This man, he goes to school full time. He's shooting videos in his basement with his sunglasses on. Okay. He's here. He's there. He's all over the place. I love it. So he's setting my schedule for me, which has been crazy. My schedule's been crazy. I had a day last week where I did 6 streams in one day. The other night,
and I've seen it. You've been popping up on my radar. All these going lives with everybody. I think I even watched part of that video because you were talking with Kong, or maybe he was on your channel with somebody else, and you were literally saying he was saying, "I'm setting your schedule, and I can maybe help you with some thumbnails or whatever." So I don't know what tool that was, but I remember that.
Yes. And so what I would love desperately to have is a video editor that wants to help out. This is somebody. Okay.
No.
Okay. That would be amazing if I could.
Do you not? I mean, most of what you do is live, right? So you don't really edit anything.
Yeah. I mean, I have before. It's such a pain. I didn't even pay this for this Final Cut Pro trial. I at least need to figure out what a good video editing software.
You should check out DaVinci Resolve, man, because it's free. It's what I use. I mean, I have the better version of it now, but I've used it for quite a while. It's super easy to use. The pros use it. I know there's probably other software out there that maybe is bigger and better or whatever, but this stuff is pretty awesome.
I just need easy.
And it's very easy. You can start out just doing the absolute basics and then add on to it.
Okay.
Like, I don't even know how to do such a huge amount of the stuff that it can do, like what's possible with it, but they make movies with it. They edit movies. They do all types of stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Okay. Okay. So I Googled it. Okay. And I probably spelled it wrong.
It's Blackmagic Design. Yeah, that's the company that makes it.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
And I'm pretty sure they still offer a free version that can literally do everything. So, I mean, that's at least what I use. That's what I'm familiar with. So that's, kind of what I would recommend.
As long as it's easy, we're doing it. That's the big thing. Just simple, basic editing. That would be amazing. Okay.
I can probably DM you some like help videos and stuff like that from some people that are pretty good at it.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So Kong is such a blessing. We're doing a giveaway, by the way. If you want to go sub to his channel and comment on that video, okay, if you just type in crypto Kong and then type in DeFi Kingdoms. That's what you want to make sure you type in DeFi Kingdoms. And okay, this will get you to his channel. And then you just come here. If you subscribe to his channel and then come to his video here, it's got 94 views. You come to this one, okay, and then comment on this bad boy. Comment on the video. That will get you in. The winner of this will get where's the comment section? Hello, where are you at? Comments. The winner of this will get 5 blue eggs. Second place will get 3 blue eggs. Third place, 2 blue eggs. And then there's 20 total eggs to give away. So then there's going to be another 10 blue eggs to give away, plus a special giveaway surprise on top of that. Lots of winners. So be sure to comment on this video. Okay.
Wow, that sounds awesome. Where's all the eggs coming from? Is that all from you?
It was donated by Little Nine, and I can't even pronounce the name. I love you guys. Nice. Easy and free. Where do I sign? I love it, Starbucks. So Little Nine, I think was actually the one that gave the eggs, but maybe like the one that reached out to me starts with a K. Pipe up if you're in here. Okay. So game is life. I love you guys. So this man, Crazy Basement Life. He talks gaming. He's a gamer. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes, sir. I mean, I talk crypto in general, GameFi, DeFi, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I've been around the block a little bit, so I've been in tons of projects. I don't really like talking about it too much, but I was in quite a few DAO projects back in the heyday. When those were just absolutely popping off. They basically were like volcanoes, right? They erupted. It was just going nuts. Boom, boom. And then 90% drop or whatever, so, but I released a ton of videos on how to like time that kind of stuff when it was first coming out. But I think my main goal is kind of to educate people on crypto and kind of how they work, and also maybe some strategies without getting into financial advice, of course. But I think that a lot of times, what I've noticed, the biggest thing that I've seen is that people get into projects and they kind of fall in love with them sometimes, and they don't think about any kind of strategy with making money. And if you're there to make money, you have to think about that side of it and have a plan there. If you're not there to make money, I say more power to you. You know, there's people that spend 40K plus in normal video games buying skins and just all types of junk that they will never see a penny of. If that could get over into Web3, into GameFi zone stuff, and maybe that became a possibility where you could spend money in the game, get your character outfitted, and then sell it. That's where I see like some really cool things with NFTs, with crypto, all that kind of stuff. But I don't think we're there yet. We're on our, we're on our way. We're getting there, but we got a long ways to go, I think. So.
Yep, we do. There it is. It's Karakua. That's it. That's this person combined with Little Nine, just out of the blue, hits me up, gives me 20 blue eggs to give away on the channel. Nice. So this man right here, Crazy Basement Life, is going to get some whitelist giveaways to give away on his channel. In the description below, make sure you go follow him on Twitter and sub to his channel. So he does very solid. You articulate yourself very well. You're very good at YouTube. I love your channel, and I see a lot of potential for you to keep growing this thing. I could see you doing this full time, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought about it when I first started. You know, my initial thought was I wanted to help people. I was in a Discord with like 1,000 other people, and we were just doing AMAs and literally talking to people all day about the projects, what to look for, what to look out for, what's a scam, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I guess that's been a year and a half ago when I was doing that thing.
Bull run.
And yeah, I mean, obviously, and we continued it to like last summer, like a year ago, but obviously everything fell off. I mean, Discord servers, it's insane because I remember like I used to take screenshots of Discord servers, of Twitter accounts and stuff. And I one time I was in the middle of recording a video and I saw a Twitter account go from like 20 followers to like 18,000 followers. And it was insane because I recorded it and I was saying, this is exactly what I'm talking about. People can bot accounts. They are buying these followers and they're trying to pump up these projects to make it seem like it is hyped and foamed out, and sometimes it's not. So,
really? Wow.
Yeah, it's insane. I started kind of going through some of my videos because as I'm starting to work on new stuff, I wanted to kind of get rid of some of the older stuff because unfortunately, everything in crypto is so fast. It gets out of date so quick. Like if you leave a video up there for a year, it's almost pointless, you know, unless you make it so generic that it might not matter, but it's kind of insane.
Because things change so fast, even with DeFi Kingdoms. I mean, I still leave them up there, but if you go back and listen to some of those videos, it's a lot, it changes fast. So that's important to know. It's a quick moving ecosystem all over the place. So you have to keep your head in the game. You don't want to put your head in the sand and fall asleep on these things. Also, Christian Peter, we missed last night. There was the game. There was Wowie, who was live with Matty Pesk, baby. Who's awesome. Have you seen any of those videos with Wowie and Matty Pesk? Those guys are.
I'm not sure. I mean,
probably not.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I watched a pretty crazy video you had that one night when I posted about coming on a couple days ago, and I was like, I actually had it muted when I sent the message, like, "Hey, what's up?" And then it looked like how you were pointing and how you're reacting. You were talking to me. And so I had to turn the volume up to see what was up. And it was really funny because I want to say his name was Flu or whatever. I know there was kind of a meltdown with Granary or whatever, but yeah, I was like, bro, he's kind of like off the hook a little bit.
He is, man.
It is what it is. It was an emotional time. So
he is. And that's just how he is. He's so real and raw. But you can take it to the bank. He's gonna make it right. He already made it right with all the grain.
Well, props to that he even came on. I mean, you know how many founders and people that I've talked to and interviewed that will screw something up and it might not even like that big sometimes, and they just give up. They just leave. They don't say anything. All of a sudden, the Discord is just like dead. I mean, it's crazy. But we should probably talk about DFK a little bit if you want to, because I'm interested in lots of what's going on. And I've seen in your chat, several people are asking for some different updates and stuff like that. So
yes. And I think they were talking about next crypto gym updates because we're thinking and hoping that DFK is going to be featured on that TV show.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
That's why it's such a big deal. So when you talk marketing, that show is going to get exposure to all of BitBoy's people, all of George I'm George's people, Leah, that gal, and Brian D. Evans. Okay, they've got million followers and stuff. And so massive exposure where people get to see the fundamentals of the project. And the fundamentals, I've done a lot of videos on this. The fundamentals of DFK has never been stronger. So let's talk DFK. You probably have some questions. We can dive deep. Here's Matty Pesk in the chat. He did a video last night with Wowie, and these guys really focus on what you were talking about the other night. Here, DeFi Kingdoms Combat. These guys are like kids in a candy store.
Yep.
Wowie is like a combat guru with this. And so I went and met Workhorse, aka Pervy Sage, baby, at Wisdom Labs at Minneapolis, Mall of America. Love it.
Nice.
Yes. That intro. I love it. So, okay, we're going to figure out, Christian Peter and I, generally speaking, are going to try and go every Monday regularly. Okay. Yes. Wowie, man. But Matty Pesk, I love you. The Bogside Chats. That's another YouTube channel that covers DeFi Kingdoms. They're awesome. Okay. So let's go. Let's talk DeFi Kingdoms. Let's talk Dragons Crossing or anything else you want to talk about. I love how you dive in. You just jump in. You just jumped and did this awesome Dragons Crossing review too. So it's exciting.
Yeah, and I heard about that. I was watching your channel live when I heard about Dragons Crossing, and I started making some of those comparisons, obviously with DFK, and I started learning about some of the links with some names that I've heard before. So I was like, you know what? I might as well just read all the white paper, and or I guess they don't have the white paper yet, but I start getting into stuff, and that's what I really like to do: the strategy, reading about projects, seeing what's going on with them, because there's a lot of really interesting things with crypto specifically that can make a project really, really good. I think the team is very important. Are they transparent? Yeah. How are the tokenomics going to work? And then a big thing that is lacking right now is marketing, but that's not as important in a bull market, because in that bull market, projects market themselves, right? Yeah. I mean, just me, you, and 10 or 15 other guys that are making DFK videos or whatever is probably enough, because they'll get thousands and thousands of views. Whereas right now, I see huge channels with multi-million, followers that are getting low thousands views because nobody cares. Right. But it is starting to turn around. I mean, it's starting to turn around. So if you look at the markets, there's green. I don't know. I don't want to make any predictions or anything, but I've been thinking a long time about making some Bitcoin videos, ETH videos, talking about economics and how they affect it and just other things that are happening in the world, because it seems like you can go, there's always a side that says we're going to tank, and there's a side that says we're going to go to the moon. You know what I mean? But I want to kind of be in the middle and maybe show both sides on some of those aspects, because I think the average person clicks a video, and whatever that person in that video says to do, they literally just go do it. They don't do any more research. And that is a horrible strategy.
That is a horrible, terrible strategy, because people can be convincing and then they can be wrong. So like yesterday, I had the Gem Hunters, Bit Shaman on the channel. That was huge. He's got 75,000 Twitter followers. It's like, yes, love this guy. And he's a trader. He's pretty confident it's sell and may walk away short term, and then it'll rebound back up. But he thinks that's going to be front run in April. Yeah. What say you? Because I've heard, there's not a ton of confidence right now in the banks and stable coins. I don't know what to think. What do you think?
Well, what's crazy about a lot of that stuff is the fact that, Bitcoin was having issues, price is falling, everything in crypto is falling. And there's a lot of people saying doom and gloom, 10K, 12K, whatever, that's where the things are going to go. And a lot of big channels, a lot of people with a lot of experience, that's the kind of stuff that they were talking about. And I was trying to understand, how did we get from people saying, just sell it, don't invest, and go from 12K to 18K to 20K to 25K to 26 to 28, like where we are now? And it's things that are, the right word is not manipulated or manipulated, but that's the word that that makes the most sense. Like even with what happened with stable coins, the government will come out and say something like, hey, don't trust the stable coin anymore or coin anymore. It's not going to work. Binance is out of here, whatever. And all of a sudden you start seeing the price of Bitcoin and other things rise because people are leaving those stables.
Yep.
And you also had what? USD C, I want to say, if I'm saying that right.
You did.
That had an issue too. It had some stability problems. Guess what happened? Bitcoin is pumping. You have people afraid of the banks and of what's happening with fiat currency. Bitcoin's starting to pump. I mean, the thing that I was actually thinking about today, and this might be like an actual hot take, is if physical banks don't exist, if they go under, how are you going to get your paycheck into a platform to then buy crypto and then back out to pay your rent and all that kind of stuff? There are some services, right, where you can do that. A big one is Fidelity. I made a video. I think I may have taken it down, but I made like a really basic video. But Fidelity Investments has an app, a crypto app. You can buy BTC and Ethereum on it. And I made a video and posted it that like basically a week before it was going to launch, talking about how I think this might be an actual time when BTC is going to start turning around, because if you got to make it easy, right? That's the other thing that I forgot to talk about with GameFi, DeFi, and everything else. The average investor is not going to ever see your project, no matter how much marketing you do, if they have to take 500 steps to get there. Right. And if they're losing money at every step. Like imagine even DFK is pretty good now. But imagine like the average investor coming into the space, they have to put money up on Coinbase, let's say. Then they have to take that money, they have to send it to a wallet, they have to get all that stuff kind of configured, hope it gets there. Once it gets there, then they have to use a bridge, they have to do something to figure out an exchange, whatever, a DEX. How do I get it to where it's going to go? Then when it gets there, they're paying other fees. Sometimes they screw it up, then they lose all their money, and then they walk away. And we got to fix that kind of stuff, I think, before we have mass adoptions, because we were at what, 3 trillion market, like total market, crypto market, I think at the peak. Might have been a little higher than that.
3.3.
And now what's that?
3.3 trillion. Yeah.
And we're what? A third of that now.
Yep.
And we were under that a little bit. And so the problem is where did that money go? I mean, people literally left it. They put it onto exchanges. Maybe they converted it back into fiat. Maybe they're, crypto's got to compete with stocks also. And stocks have crashed a lot, so like, I don't know. It's just really interesting. Yeah, exactly. What he's saying here is the barrier to entry is so much simpler. Like imagine taking a credit card, and I know this is coming out, and I've seen actually a lot of projects have that, where you can put in your credit card information and buy crypto. The only thing I've seen with that a lot of times is sometimes not only do you have to KYC, so it takes longer, like some of those places require it, but the fees sometimes, it's actually insane when you think about it, because somebody in crypto is afraid to spend $25 in a fee for a credit card company, but they will drop $6K on a picture. You know what I mean? It's like,
what's going on there? The Nakamigo.
And the gas. And the gas.
It's wild.
It's nuts.
These Nakamigo NFTs. Have you heard about that? What's going on?
A little bit. I don't know if that was your stream yesterday, but I kind of caught a glimpse of it, and they were talking about it, but it's nuts. I mean, I covered a lot of NFT projects too. Kind of like right after the crash started happening, because I saw so many scam projects coming out, and it's really hard to understand how NFTs actually work. Like, what's the point if you're treating them as an investment? It's so speculative. There's no liquidity, and a lot of people don't understand that that's how it works. And sometimes what you end up having teams, or you end up having like a big old whale that'll come and buy a ton of the product, and it looks like there's stuff happening and there's liquidity and people are going to buy, but then your NFT never sells.
Right.
And so I made quite a few videos about NFTs and like trying to help people and stuff like that. But it's one of those things that's just, it's kind of hard to get it across, because the other thing I've noticed is a lot of people are so sure of their own ideas that they're not willing to listen in a way that they can go, okay, let me look at this other side, if that makes sense. Right. So they're just stuck on one path. This is it. Right. And it's hard to get people away from that. And I don't really try to, I just want to help people. And if I can do that, I feel like I win, even if it's only 1 or 2 people. I mean, that's the point. So it's the kind of stuff that I wish I had when I first got in.
Yeah. Right. That's part of why I'm here too, to help, because I always have to learn everything the hard way in crypto. And it's I need people to help hold my hand, baby. Walk me through this. So with NFTs, I still don't get it. So a real good friend of mine, Doug Hype, okay, who's also, he was on here the other night. He's a big NFT guy, Web3 guy, and he's been crushing it on these Nakamigo NFTs. But I'm just like, I don't wrap my mind around it. It's so speculative, like you said. Whereas I get with Dragon's Crossing or DeFi Kingdoms, we need these heroes. We play the game. They're finite. They have, their specific stats. The NFTs are so complex too. For the DeFi Kingdoms, the code within the NFTs are the most complex NFTs in all of crypto. Do you know that?
For sure. I think in a portion of my I actually try to make fairly short videos most of the time, like 5-10 minute videos. But sometimes when I start looking at projects, I just can't really help myself. And I feel like if I've recorded 50-minute video, I might as well put it up there. And I do edit like almost all of my videos. But that's just to cut out like blank areas, or maybe sometimes I say a lot.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So like I just did. And I try to edit some of that, because when I listen to myself talk, obviously I judge myself and I'm like, hey, can I get a little bit better? And I know it just takes time and effort and just like being willing to come on to a place like this. So I definitely want to say thank you to you for kind of like beating that drum and trying to make sure that we got together, because I think that that's really an important aspect, is getting a lot of people to come together, talk about projects so that everybody can kind of help each other, because there's really two really good ways to win in NFTs and crypto, I guess, even in life in general. And that's having friends, right? That's having some, I don't really want to call it insider knowledge, but that's basically what it is. It's having friends that say, did you hear about this NFT project?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's all it takes before those friends have told 1,000 other friends. And then there you are, you're looking at it going, well, now it's already 8 ETH. Like, should I buy now? Probably not. It's, I don't know.
And I think the floor came back down on those. I wonder where they are. Normally, Doug gives me the updates on those Nakamigos. But anyways, it's just cracking me up because I don't get it at all. So
yeah, well, at least GameFi, DeFi, farms, all that kind of stuff, you can apply some strategy. And that's more or less kind of like, I'm kind of down with that too. I like the strategy, a little bit of trading strategy, trying to figure out how to maybe buy super early, hold it for a little bit, take out profits. That's another thing a lot of people don't do. Man, when that thing is pumped 5x, 10x, whatever, take some money. You know what I mean? Like, at least take your initial investment. That's the one thing I was talking to people about. I mean, I don't know 100% like about your background specifically, but were you here in the bull run, like leading up to it, at least like from October, let's say, of 2021?
Yeah.
And then the hump
in 2015, baby. 2015.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, were you actively relevant, like going into these Discords and talking with all these FOMO'd people that are just like, we gotta buy now, we gotta go, it's gonna pump. You know what I mean? Like, I was in there, dude. I was in the trenches. I was talking to people every day. I was talking to projects that were like, well, we're the next best thing since sliced bread. And by the way, all you got to do is give us $1,000 and, you can become a founder of our project. And then 50 people would do that. And then the project Discord would be deleted. You know what I mean? It's like, what the?
Yeah, that's not good.
But so I've definitely been through some insane crypto rides. Kind of because I don't know. It's hard to talk about some of this kind of stuff because I have a strategy. What's up? Okay. I have a strategy. I know what I'm comfortable with. I know what I'm willing to risk. And I stop there. Like, I think that's the main thing you have to do when you're looking at projects is design a system so that you can feel comfortable and go to sleep at night and not have to worry about it, because it is so easy to start with $100 in DFK and then dump 1,000 into it and then 10,000 and then 30, all because you are just like hyped up. And I'm saying specifically DFK because that project is pretty cool. And there's other ones I've seen that are similar, but you need to learn how to use some tools and some analytics. And for me personally, I would say get in the Discord, get in the Twitter, ask questions. If the team is going to answer your questions, awesome. That's like a +1 right there. If they're not even going to answer your questions,
Yeah.
What's the point? You might as well delete that Discord and move on to the next project because there's 1,000. You know, they're all stacked up. They're in a line.
There really is. And so that's exactly right. So the number one thing I look at is the core values of the team. What is the why of the founders of the project? What's driving them? Are they money driven? Are they looking at the 5 minutes in front of their face trying to make a quick buck? Or do they have a strong why that's driving them? They caught a vision. They wanted to be a blessing to this planet of Earth and come and develop something awesome that's whatever it is, whatever their vision is, and that's what they do. And it's not about making money, right? But they know that if they do it right and they kick ass and the word spreads, of course, that comes later. You make money in a project, okay, if you're invested in it. So that's the first thing I look at. What's the why? What's driving them? Their vision, their passion, their cause, okay? And then you look at how well do they communicate? Okay. You look at the tokenomics, you look at the partnerships, you look at how strong the foundational pieces of the project is. You look at these things, which is what brought me to DeFi Kingdoms, baby. That's what also brought me to Dragon's Crossing. So yes, I've been in over 100 projects that literally went to zero. Okay. Yeah. But guess what my biggest mistake is? And so anyone that's been in crypto for a long time would say, what's the popular response to that? The popular response is take profits. The problem is, here's the problem. Anybody that's been in crypto, you can just tell me the date, like through 2 cycles. Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter when they came in. If you came in and bought Bitcoin at a penny, and then you 100x, it goes all the way up to $1. You sell out. You finally sell out. Maybe you're stepping out your profits. It goes up to 10 cents. You take some profit. 20 cents, take some more profit. 30 cents, 50 cents, 80 cents, $1. Whoa, 100x. You pull out at that point.
Ouch.
Then it goes up to $10.
Ouch.
Then it goes.
If you're talking Bitcoin and that's what happened, ouch. Ouch.
That's most people who were in at that time. Most people who were early on Bitcoin, who were early on Ethereum, all of them sold out too early at some point. Yeah. Or even worse, they bought when it was high and then sold when it was low.
I mean, that's bad. That's bad for sure. Buying high, selling low, especially if you say you believe in crypto and the technology and where it's going to go, because at that point, why not just hold it long term? I mean, not financial advice here, but still, like, think about it. If you've let's say you bought in at near the top 68K and it went down to what, 18?
Yeah.
50K loss on however much you put in there. Yeah. That, if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, that's probably nothing compared to so many other aspects, other investments, whatever, including stocks. So if you sell, that is realized. And what that means is it's real. You just lost 50K. If you haven't sold yet, it's all it's like, it's not on paper, right? Or I guess it is on paper. It hasn't manifested itself. So if you don't believe in crypto, then you got to do what you got to do. And how you feel about it, that's fine. But if you believe in crypto, why would you not hold out till the next bull run that's going to happen eventually? And 2024, we're not too far away from a Bitcoin event. And I mean, I don't know, from what I hear, that's what most people are saying is going to be the start. Obviously, anything can happen, though, because the economy, the Fed, the government, the W word, all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's nuts. I mean, there's too much information.
Right.
Somebody was talking about Dogecoin too, and I did want to say, isn't it hilarious that Elon Musk changes Twitter logo to Dogecoin, and the sucker pumps 30%. And I do have some Dogecoin, but I've held it for a long time. Doge, I guess. I don't know. I've said it both ways, but it's insane.
Yeah. I've got that bad boy sitting there in Voyager, baby.
Yeah.
Okay. So worse than all the mistakes that I've made by not, I bought Dragon Chain in 2017. I put in like $200 or $300. It went up to $28,000 value. and then I wrote it all the way down to wherever wherever it is. Okay. Nuts. So I made all these mistakes. I've lost millions of dollars in Terra Luna, in the Harmony Bridge hack, and Voyager combined, all that.
Man, Terra's hard. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I know a lot of people that were hurt badly with Terra.
Yes.
And so I really feel for those people, because a lot of times, like I try to talk a lot in my videos about other economies, because I'm US based, you're US based. Other economies are so different than the US and other, like, I don't know, expensive economies, I guess is what I'll say. I know people that survive off of like $100, and they're living the good life on that. So when you lose 100, 150 bucks, 200 bucks in a crypto project, that might not seem like a lot to us, but sometimes that's super devastating for people.
Yeah.
And that is like a huge thing that happened with not only getting scammed and rug pulled and whatever, but with Terra. And that's, I mean, that was a hard time. Let me just put it that way.
I mean, well, I won't even say what I was just about to say. Okay. So even with all that being said, I sold my insurance company, you know, had a check for $1 million deposited in the bank. I had made 2 million in crypto.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You bought Bitcoin.
And so I lost all that. Here's my biggest mistake. When I bought Binance coin, 79 cents, bought Cardano at 1 penny, bought, you know, initially. And then Binance coin went up to $15. And I had at that point sold 90% of it, or 95. Yeah, 90% of it. And I actually was going to sell it all and then rebuy. But fortunately, I still had that 10% sitting in there. Okay. And then all the FUD against Binance all the time. Ever since it first came out, it's always FUD against Binance. Okay. So I didn't end up rebuying. Next thing I know, next bull run, it's at $39. And then it's at $79. And I sold a bunch more, $79. Then it went up to $212, I remember, sold a bunch more. Then it went up to $500, sold a bunch more. Then it went up all the way at the top. I sold out right at the top. Okay. And then rebought as it went back down. Okay. Same with Cardano. But the problem is, went from a penny, and I bought a bunch at 5 cents and 10 cents, 12 cents. I sold out 2/3 when it was at 30 to 35-ish cents. And then sold a bunch more at $1, and then $2, and then $3. Sold out at like $3.13. Okay. And then rebought as it went back down. But I sold too soon and missed tens of millions of dollars. That's the biggest mistake I've ever made. And so that's what you'll hear from people who've been around the block for a while. All the people that I knew that were OGs in crypto back in 2016, 2017, they had all sold out way too early and were bummed, like just killing them. They had sold out of their Bitcoin, their Ethereum way too early. And so here's kind of my take, my approach is that you find the projects that you believe in, that with the strong core values, the teams that are grinding, and then you follow them. Because what happens is running a business, running a crypto project is like running a business. You got to hire, fire, you got to manage staff, and then the staff gets mad at you because you're not listening to them, and just on and on and on. You're not clicking with your partners and whatever. There's disagreements. They can't take all the FUD that comes at them because people just start bitching and fudding at the project all the time for any and every reason. That's how it goes, especially when coin goes down. Okay. And they eventually close the doors, even good ones. Lots of good projects out there do that. Okay. And so you don't want to fall asleep unless it's Bitcoin. You can, and probably Ethereum, you can probably fall asleep on those. But even Ethereum, you don't want to put your head in the sand. And so, because a lot of times you got to know when to get out when a project's dying and jump ship.
Yeah. And I think Dags is making a lot of really good points about like not kicking yourself, because you really don't know what was going to happen in the future. What if we were sitting here talking and all those pumps didn't happen and you actually sold at the top? Do you know what I mean? Like, you never know what's going to happen in the future. And so I try not to kick myself on stuff like that too much because man, I bought stocks. Like I started getting into stocks before any crypto stuff, and I bought AMD at $3, and people were saying I was insane for buying AMD at $3. And that sucker pump, I don't even know how high it pumped because I got so sketched out when there were some different crashes and stuff that happened. I think I sold out at like $38 or something, but I had insane gains on that.
Yeah.
And like all I did was look at it and say, you know what? I know it's not going to go down any lower. And if it does, the risk of it going down much lower is not that much. But I do think it's going to start pumping. And guess what happened? That was the beginning of crypto starting to take off, and people were buying graphics cards and computers. And I like timed it right before that, like 6 months, 8 months before that. And I was just like, man, I was like, whoa, I'm high right now off this whole thing. This is incredible. And my financial advisors were like, how do you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, I like AMD. I got AMD products.
Wow.
And I started seeing what was happening. And I was just like, you know what? I mean, NVIDIA was good too, right? But I bet on the underdog and it ended up working out really good. And I pretty much took my profits from that. And that's basically kind of like my bag that I've been messing with crypto with. And so, you know, I've definitely overinvested in some projects. I've lost some money. I've had some winners. I've held way too long. Sometimes, like for me, I think I heard another guest. Actually, I think it was Flu, if I'm saying his name right.
Yeah.
He was talking about how he likes to buy into projects, an NFT, some of the tokens or whatever. I do the same thing. I've made so many videos where what I should have done is been a little bit smarter and reached out to him and said, hey, I will make some videos. I'll help you out. You can kind of push that. And then also send me like an NFT and maybe a little bit of the tokens so I can test out the game. I don't want it to be like a weird, financial thing where I'm getting paid to make the videos. I want it to be like, I don't want it to cost me money unless I really want to play it.
Yeah.
You might as well give me some stuff. And if you want them back, just open up a wallet or whatever and give me some access to it. And then nothing ever trades hands or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think that might be the way I start approaching stuff, because I've purchased so many NFTs and a lot of them are kind of pointless because either the projects never came out or I've held them for a year or whatever. And I bought them at $600 and they're worth 60.
And
you know what I mean? And it's,
see, the hope is you just find a few good winners there.
Yep.
But again, the thing is, you find the projects you believe in. So Doug first hit me up on these Nakamigos, for example, when it was 0.06 ETH. And then it went to 0.1 ETH and then 0.15 ETH. And he's telling me every day what it's doing. And then 0.19 ETH was the floor. And it would go up and down. And I was thinking about buying one. Okay. And the next thing we know, boom, it was like 0.85 ETH. I did not lose 1 second of sleep over it because I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand the team and what it's all about and what they're doing. I haven't been able to wrap my mind around it. In the past, I would be like, oh, Grady, coulda, shoulda, woulda. No, did not lose 1 ounce of sleep because I don't get it. But the projects that I follow closely, believe in, and then those are the ones I hone in on and focus. And then dollar
price,
little bits of money that kind of like putting it away in a 401k that you don't think about.
Yep.
You're not sitting there looking at the charts, are you, about your 401k? That's how you treat crypto and the projects you believe in.
Who's the last one that's ever done that? Looked at their 401k, except for on a statement, maybe.
Yeah. Once every quarter, you get a statement mail. You look at it for 2 minutes and check it. That's it. So that's how we should treat Bitcoin. Okay. But also these other projects, even if they're down 99%, but the fundamentals now we're leading us right into why DFK and Dragons Crossing. The fundamentals couldn't be stronger, I would say, with both those projects. They have a strong why, strong core values driving them, and they've grinded right on through the bear market. And they're just, with DFK, they're even more solidified than ever before. The foundational pieces are in place. They're big brains. They're working 7 days a week these days. Okay. Pervy Sage, baby. He said he spit out a year's worth of development in 6 months because 7 days a week, he's working 12 to 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, and hasn't taken a day off.
Wow.
That's what he said. And
that's rough. They need to hire some more people, I guess, huh?
Well, or
he just loves it too much.
I thought he had like maybe 30 some employees there. No, it's like in the 90s. He's got like 93 employees there. It's just nuts. Okay. And so the quality that's coming behind this is you've got goat-like developers with Beetle Dude and Magnus and Frisky, Fox, of course. Just phenomenal project all the way around. The partnerships, there's so much in the works with Avalanche Gaming, with Avalanche and Avalanche Gaming, with Klaytn blockchain. There's more coming. And so what's big, you mentioned earlier, is getting listed on a centralized exchange. Not only does it give them credibility, but it makes it easier. If we could just buy Jewel on Binance US or something and send it right on into the DFK chain and then go, big.
Yep.
That's another reason why being on the Klaytn chain is big.
Yeah, and I don't know a lot about Klaytn. I mean, when that announcement first came out, I definitely did quite a bit of research on it. I was going to make some videos and stuff. And I mean, I have my own belief on why I think that they went that route. But I'm kind of curious why you think they went that route. And then I was also going to say, you know, there's other projects out there. I mean, I'm going to drop a name, Elk Finance. I have like been involved in that project, like not on the team or any marketing or whatever, but I found that project and I made some videos on it because they literally are like on 20 chains right now. So you can go to them. You can purchase elk and then transfer that elk onto 20 different chains. And then you can convert it to whatever else you're going to do. And it's kind of insane. So elk is 15 cents. I don't remember if this is there's the media market or whatever, but the actual if you just type Elk Finance, you can get to the actual D app. You actually might have to connect your wallet to see what it looks like, but it is super straightforward and easy. And you buy the elk. They have farming, they have a bunch of liquidity pools on all the different chains that they go on. And then you can see, I think their height. This doesn't go back far enough to see that, but their height, like if you look at that peak right there,
$4. Wow.
I think going up to 6 or something. I actually don't tell anybody, but I sold right there. I sold quite a bit.
$6?
Yeah, it was like $5.20 or something, I think was the average.
Wow.
I bought into the project. I mean, I'm not trying to show myself. I'm just saying like I have had some lucky things happen to me as well. Yep. But I think I bought in under $1 and I just been sitting there holding it and farming and getting free elk. And then it was really weird. I can't remember if I made a video on it or not, but somebody came in there like a whale came in and they started using this to transfer a bunch of money into some chain, like 300K. And because it's a smaller market cap, that just like projected the price. And I was so lucky because I was literally at my computer and I saw that thing pop. Like everything just came together, if that makes sense. I saw the price jump and I immediately sold, not everything, but I sold a fairly large portion of my bag because I was like, you know what? It's probably never. The only other time it's gone up like that is maybe $15 or something, but that was like a year ago or something like that. And so I was just thinking about it in my head. I'm like, you know what? It's probably never going to get to 6 again. And if it does, I will be able to buy when it drops back down and ride it on the way back up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, it's insane, but that was definitely luck. Cause if I was not at my computer, that wouldn't happen. Cause I don't think that lasted more than several hours when it was at that price. Cause the guy basically came in, I forget which chain, bought like, might have even been on something weird like Kronos, bought like 300K of elk and shot the price up. Wow. And I was just like, holy smokes. And that was also on, I think, V2 of their token because they changed their tokenomics. And as they're upgrading and getting onto new chains, they've kind of, set some different tokenomics and basically modified their farming rewards and whatever. So some of this stuff, like when the price went down to 15 cents, like the rest of the market, it also was affected because they did that swap. So they had to move all liquidity from one token to another token. And so that's why there's like a huge steep drop.
Yeah.
But again, it's not financial advice. It's a bridge to multiple chains, and I think it's pretty cool. It's worth checking out at least.
Does it bridge into Klaytn?
Man, okay, so that was the point. I'm sorry. This is why I brought it up. So when DFK, do you know what Frisky Fox bought like 100K of Jewel? Do you know anything about that? Okay, whatever that timing was, at around that time, I was reaching out to Elk Finance and saying, hey, you guys, you need to think about this. They're on Harmony, and you have the ability to get there to Harmony. You want more volume so that you can get fees and you can make money. You got to start working with some of these bigger projects that have volume, and they can use you as a bridge. But obviously, DFK kind of has their own partnership. I can't remember what that bridge is, but
Synapse bridge. Synapse.
Synapse, yeah. And that's a great one too. Multi-chain everything. But I think, had Elk really like got there and worked hard on it. Yeah, Elk was on Harmony. I just can't imagine what would have happened had Elk like stepped through that door and tried to make something happen there, because the volume that is on those other larger dexes could have went to them. That would have been insane. And same thing with Klaytn, right? If they open the door on Klaytn, so you could buy AVAX or BNB or like Coinbase, and I mean, there's tons of other like centralized exchanges out there. I don't really know them all, but Binance.
And send it to AVAX blockchain, and then you can.
Well, you wouldn't even have to. Like with Elk, it takes a step out, because it doesn't matter what blockchain you're coming from. As long as it's one they support, you can buy Elk and then send it wherever you want. So you're talking 2 steps, maybe
from
3.
From a centralized exchange, you can send it right into the blockchain that you want to.
Yeah, so basically you would be able to connect. So obviously you would send it from a centralized exchange to your wallet.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So to your wallet,
your AVAX wallet, we'll say Avalanche. You buy some Avalanche, send it to your AVAX wallet. Okay.
Yep. But it just takes some steps out. Like that's what I was trying to kind of get through their heads at that point. And I mean, obviously, I'm probably not smarter than they are, and they were already thinking about all these different kind of things and other projects or whatever. And that was my own bias, because I was looking at DFK and saying, hey, this could be an opportunity, because it seemed like a small team at the time. And you guys are already on so many different chains. You could be ready.
Yes. Yes. So you have some questions about Klaytn. Let's talk some Klaytn here.
Yeah.
There's been some pushback here because the gas fees are a bit higher, especially right now. But they're working on that. So the gas fees are going to be reduced very soon by about 75% on the Klaytn chain. It'll be like a buyback thing. But as far as we see it, it'll be reduced by 75%. Okay. So there's that. But then also the reason why they went with Klaytn instead of like Polygon was an option that they almost went with, but Polygon wanted them to bounce the DFK chain altogether and just be only Polygon, which went against their vision. There was like some stipulations there, but they were on board. Now they still hope to be on Polygon, I think, is one of their other realms potentially down the road. Maybe we'll see. Okay. But Klaytn was just such a big, they were so pro DFK, whereas most all the other blockchains didn't know as much about what was going on with DFK. And so plus they threw in, they needed money at the time. They needed help because of the Harmony bridge hack. And Luna, it wrecked everybody. Okay. So Klaytn threw down some money, also just some incentives. And then they talked all about the Asian gaming market targeting. And that's in the works, but it takes time.
That's my belief. That's why I think going to Klaytn was actually a great move. I mean, maybe not specifically Klaytn, but getting into that Asian market and breaking in there, especially if DFK is very mobile friendly. That's something a lot of people got to think about. If your project is not mobile friendly, good luck breaking into all types of markets, because in some countries, mobile is all they have. There is no bigger devices. There's no PCs. So I hope like PvP, PvE, all that kind of stuff is like no problem on a mobile phone.
I know that's going to be huge.
Yes.
Okay. And so when we talk ease of use and converting Web 2 to Web 3, that is a big vision for Dragon's Crossing. And so they want it to be as easy as possible. I think pretty soon They're going to be announcing their blockchain that they're launching on. And we've all really been hoping. And I throw out some convincing arguments as to why I think DFKchain might be a good option. But I know this. I know how they think. They don't want to have to rely on a bridge.
Yep.
And so that's if I had to guess, that's their biggest hangup.
Yep.
Now, once Jewel gets launched on the centralized exchange, which we know is coming very soon, like within a few months, I think, that's been deep in the works for a long time. Yes.
You should timestamp this, man, because you know what? If Jewel does get onto a centralized exchange and people start buying it, I'm not going to make any predictions or anything, but imagine where it was.
Yeah.
And all I would say is do some math. Math is fairly easy to do, but do a little bit of math and see what kind of volume it would take, what kind of investments it would take to see, even just to get to break even or whatever. And if you're buying Jewel now at like 18 cents, whatever, I don't know the exact low, but if you bought it anywhere under like 50 cents, imagine what happens if it does go even to $5.
Yeah.
You know, it's like insane. I mean, if you've been accumulating, especially you with a ton of heroes, I actually probably have like 200 heroes. So I'm not like an ultimate big bag, but I am, I'm probably a little bit more than average. I don't have any Gen Zeros though. I almost bought some. And every time I was going to, I decided not to and then regretted it.
Yeah.
But
they're not,
I kind of decided I'm good how I'm at. I don't really do like, I have, I forgot his name, but I was gonna bring him up too with the bots. I think you got me into that Discord as well, Carlos. I want to say,
yeah,
that was like a lifesaver. It's the only reason I got 200 heroes because when I could make the questing automatic, I'm not kidding you. My routine for a while was get up at 5 a.m., do all my dumb questing for like 20 minutes, and then had a timer at noon and had a timer at whatever before I went to bed. And I quested those stupid things for just hours and hours and hours of my life. And I just basically was asking myself a question one day. I'm like, you know what? I need to choose. Either I'm getting rid of all this junk right now because I'm just done with it. Like, it's not fun because I'm just clicking. I mean, am I getting resources? Am I potentially making money? Sure. But I was getting burnt out, if that makes sense.
Right. Quest
and then
is real.
I saw one of your videos and you had some DOS prompts up in the background. And I'm like, bro, what is this guy doing, man? He looks like a hacker. Yeah, there you go. He's talking about DFK and he looks like this hacker guy. I'm like, man, there is something going on. And I think I messaged you and props to you. You immediately came back to me and you're like, bro, check this Discord out. I got in and that day I got a couple of those NFTs and
bots. Wow. Okay.
It's an ease to set up. I actually was going to make some videos on that too, just because it seems like people are afraid to trust is hard, obviously. I made like, I don't know. I would just say do what it takes to protect yourself. Make a new wallet, transfer just the heroes over, transfer just enough Jewel, Crystal, whatever, Jade to cover gas, stuff like that. And then if you're like super paranoid, you can set up that auto transfer feature and whatever. And that's the way that I did it. I don't auto transfer because I might regret that though. If that price starts pumping and then I'm like getting all nervous, you know, I'm at school, I'm at work, whatever. And the price starts pumping and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get it out of that account just in case. That could be a problem. Maybe I'll set that up.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know those waifu bots are such a game changer, right?
Yep.
And so, and then also there's another one called Helper. If you want to go do all kinds of crazy stuff, it'll auto duel for you. It'll auto create liquidity for you with your items it will compound your gardens for you. It will auto list your heroes for sale. And then when the stamina is full, it'll take them off for sale and quest them and then relist them for sale. It'll do all kinds of stuff for you like that. Whereas the waifu bots are more simple. Kind of depends which way you want to go on that. So yeah. And I'm that for that reason, for the time, probably, you know, I'm trying to get with Zellies and work on getting everything switched to Helper soon. But I know the waifu bots, game changer.
Yep. Well, they're like 40, 50 bucks and it's easy. Like if all you want to do is quest heroes and get rewards, you want to get items, you want to just bulk up on items. It is so easy and quick to set up.
It is.
And I literally, I am a little bit paranoid. So I set up a virtual machine on my laptop. I got all my, security stuff going and everything else. I know that doesn't protect my specific wallet, but at least I was just worried that bot was maybe going to like search for some stuff, do some things in the background, Bitcoin mining, whatever. So, but I've had no problems with it. So, that's what I'm doing. It's simple.
Right. And my problem with Helper is it'll take me 8 hours a day for 7 days in a row to get all mine set up. So I've got over 1,800 heroes. Yes. Best bot in the game. I love it. Prime time. Need to get them on. That fell through over the weekend. Okay. So DeFi Kingdoms. I'm so bullish on the project for those reasons. Then we've got Dragon's Crossing. We've got a little bit of a, they have their own hardcore vision and it's so legit. And I'm so pumped to be doing demo videos of the gameplay. So I think it'll be addicting game, ready to go on day one. That's easy access, easy entry. It's not rocket science. So it's a little bit, so part of his vision is a little bit easier for a Web 2 guy to come Web 3 and play an easy to play fun game. But it's not going to be quite nearly as in, so DFK is so phenomenal for so many reasons. This is like going to be a lot more simple. DFK is it's going to be we're going to have a lot of content to do to bring on new people into the game. It will keep us busy. That'll be fun. And so
can I let me well, I don't want to break up what you were saying, but
no.
If I can play kind of like the neutral party and not like, I love DFK kind of cheer party.
Push back.
So
be skeptical. Let's go.
Okay, here's my problem with duels. My heroes, well, a lot of my heroes are level 12 now. Okay, so it's not that big of a deal, potentially. I've leveled them up. I've kind of looked at some different ways to level them up more, more advanced, whatever. But how is the average person never heard of DFK, clicks on a Facebook ad, drops in, they have some crypto, let's say they at least know the game, they get in there and they go, hey, I need to buy a hero off the market and I want to duel or I want to do PvP or whatever. How do they not get absolutely wrecked? Like I bet you if we went back and looked, you destroyed me and it's probably your fault. I was in DFK duels and I was trying some stuff out and I had like the first, like as soon as it launched, I put up a 9 army or whatever it's called. And I won, dude. I was ecstatic. I was like, bro, this is insane. And then that's the only time I won. Every other match I went into, I lost every single time. Solo, squad, war, all of it. And a lot of it's obviously because I was kind of a bonehead and I had low level characters or whatever. But I thought it had, like from reading about stuff, I thought it had some kind of a ranking system. And I wasn't going to be fighting these like dragon killers like you. I thought I was going to be chilling with some other like little minnows. We're all just going to be like, hey, how's it going? Let me just punch you a little bit. And I just get in there and I throw in, I'm going down on my war. And all of a sudden you just come out with this big sword. Yeah. And I'm like,
oh man. So duels, it's like, you can think of duels. A big part of it is it's like the biggest thing behind duels is he's figuring out how to best do matchmaking. So he has tweaked that significantly every season. So we're on season 3 right now and it ends on April 19th. Okay. And it's all about him trying to figure out matchmaking in preparation for PvP, for combat. And so now it's a lot different. It's a whole heck of a lot different.
So sell me on duels though. Why do I even want to duel? What is the benefit?
Okay. So you get the raffle tickets, but you also now in season, as you level up, you get additional rewards. It starts with like some stam pots when you duel, when you go up all these different ranking levels. And you start getting at some point, where do you guys know, but I haven't dueled this season yet, hardly at all. And I need to. Okay. But as you start ranking up more and more, you start getting gold eggs, you start getting greater crystals, greater stones.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And those get airdropped to you, or are you talking like
Instantly airdropped right away.
incredible? Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know what? I was laughing a second ago because Dags put this thing up in the chat while you were talking about not you hadn't done any duels yet. And he said the only reason I'm doing duels, and that's as far as I got, and immediately in my head I connected the rest. You said you weren't doing duels, and he said that's the only reason I am doing duels. That's what I was laughing about, because I'm like, how does he know you're not doing duels? So he's like, oh, okay, since you're not in there, you know, getting everybody, he's up in there. That's funny.
Yes. And so you start, that's what he's saying is ranked rewards. So you start ranking up and you start getting all these rewards. And so Helper will do that. And then all of a sudden you're getting all these stamp pots, and then you're getting eggs, and then you're getting crystals, and you're getting greater crystals, and you're getting stones. And it's like wowzers. And it does it for you. And I think you can do the cheaper version of solo, you know, so just like one crystal or jade or 0.1 even if you want. Or
on that first duel I did, I think it was actually on Harmony, I maxed out everything I could and I won. I was just like, that was insane.
Right.
Like the dopamine hit, like boom, you're the winner. Yeah. This is what you get. All this gold, all these tickets. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
It was so fun. Right. And so then the raffle tickets too, you know, come in, but I've just been so busy. I haven't had time to do it, and I'm not on Helper yet, but anybody who's in Helper, I could be doing it on every single account, even with level 1 heroes. And you're still, because the matchmaking's better now, it's still worth it, is my understanding. Okay. Yeah. Brown Gent breaks it down. There's been some videos popping up lately. Even the Bogside chats were talking about doing it the other day in their video, and they go live tonight, right? Bogside chats, baby. Okay. So anyways, duels. So for one, to rewind a little bit, I don't think they'll ever do Facebook ads. I hope not, because if a random Joe wants to come play this game, it's a barrier to entry, man.
Yep.
And so
I only say Facebook ads because that was a very common tactic. Like a lot of Discords and Twitter was blowing up because of it, because you'd have all these projects like bots from Facebook or however it works, man. It was insane. Right. And they're all running Facebook ads. And I was talking with these people behind an NFT project, and I'm like, man, how can you justify all the hype and the FOMO when it's not real, and you're spending all of this money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, getting fake accounts, bots, whatever in here to make this thing look like it's pumped, and you're screaming and yelling on AMAs trying to say like, oh man, it's insane, there's 40,000 people that registered. And I'm like, bro, what's the difference between a bot and a person? If you don't know that, if there's 100 people and 10,000 bots, your project's not selling out. I'm sorry to tell you that.
Right.
But again, that's more NFT talk, I guess.
Yes, it is. It is. So what other pushback, skepticisms? Let's go. Be as skeptical as you want. I want to hear it, baby.
Well, I think, you know, I definitely need to do a little bit more research on the dual side of it, because I did, like I said, have a really good experience and then a bunch of like kind of not so good ones. But also at that time, I was just starting to maybe buy some heroes. And I was thinking like, how do I do this? How do I duel? If I have to do it manually, it's impossible, because it's literally a click simulator. You know what I mean? You're just like clicking all day long. And I'm like, it's just not fun for me. Right. Because I like the strategy side. I'll read all the documentation. I'll look through all the literature, and I can figure out ways of doing things. But I can invest 4 hours a day to make $1.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, if it was like killer fun and I was just having a good time, like we're chatting live, you're playing DFK, whatever, Twitch streaming, whatever, that's a whole different situation. And that's kind of the way that I was looking at it. But I mean, I'll have to definitely look at some more of the dual side of it to see how it works. And I'm going to check out that bot for sure, because I just think it's like, it's hard. And if you're trying to do like a YouTube channel for me, school, all that other kind of stuff, I mean, it's like, I don't know how you spend and research if you're going to research other projects.
Yeah.
You can't sit here and do this.
Don't have the time to do it. Right. That's where Helper comes in. But it's not like it's a fun game. The only strategy is trying to get heroes that will, you know, have the same background and both good at the same stat, and pick those stats and hope you go, you know, kick ass. That's about it. If you really want to dive in to the complexity of the game, you want to get tight with Bogside chats, these guys, Matty Pesk and Wowee. That's what they do. And
Cool.
and wowee. Okay, I had to restart my Brave. It's killing me, and it still didn't even update. Okay, but when you go to the, let's see, wowee super speculation spreadsheet, baby. He hits on the active and passive traits. He hits on the terminology down here at the bottom, and then he covers every single skill for every single hero. He gives his own rating and the remarks, and he's just like knows all this stuff like the back of his hand because he's a gamer. Okay.
Yep.
And so it's so fun. And then he does like videos. It takes 5 hours to just cover one hero. Okay.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. That seems like, I mean, that is awesome, like the detail, but so half my mind is blown away, like incredible, and the other half is like you wasted your life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, why is it so complex? And I think I said that in my last video. I'm thinking about how complex these heroes are and all these genes and all this other stuff, and then they had to fix some genes because some people got mutated and or whatever. And I'm like, why is it so complicated? If there's a purpose,
it'll
incredible.
It'll get nerfed and on, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So here's the other thing that I'm blown away by. Okay. Is any Joe Schmo can come in here and click combat testing and play.
Yep.
That's it's easy. The interface, the API. And then if you like it and you start getting a little bit more into it, you can just tippy toe in, play a little bit, and it's going to be fun. And then if you want to, so it covers both sides of the spectrum. Super easy access. Any Joe Schmo can go play. The matchmaking, I think, will be good. Okay. Then if you want to compete on an esport level, crazy psycho, play 8 hours a day, like, and just know this like the back of your hand, like gamers already do anyways. It's there.
Yep.
The complexity's there.
Yep.
That's why it's so cool. Okay. So that's important, right? Ease of use is important. And so that was a barrier that a lot of people were worried about in this game. And I think it's there.
Well, if it starts out with PvE, I mean, like, or at least if they have a PvE option, I think that solves a lot of problems, because people that are only going to be there for PvP professionally are going to dominate, because that's what they're going to do. They are going to invest 8, 12 hours, whatever it's going to take to get to the top of the leaderboard. Yep. So if you're not going to have that same level, you're going to have to play PvE, or maybe just have a good time playing PvP, not professionally, just to have a good time. You know what I mean? And so I can definitely understand that aspect of it. I thought in Serendel 1.0, they had a fiat bridge when you went to the Dockmaster or whatever, but I don't think they have that in Crystal Vale. Like where you can convert fiat with a credit card.
With ramp?
Yeah, I thought it was ramp or something.
Yes, they do. Totally in Crystal Vale. But it goes into Avalanche, though. You still got to bridge it in. Good point.
Oh, got it. Okay, so that's where I'm seeing like buy AVAX on C-Chain.
Mm-hmm.
That's
okay.
Okay.
But it whacks you so hard with the fees. So I always say buy on Binance.us. Okay. On the phone, don't hit the big plus in the middle of the phone. Okay. To buy the BUSD. Let me show you here. And I could even share my screen. I'm tempted to. Or it's the double arrow. Okay, hang on. The double arrow right here. Don't click the middle right here. Click one over where it says trade. Okay, right there. When you click that and you buy the BUSD, you're just about you sometimes will even get a little bit more BUSD than you do USD. Like if you put in $100, you might get 100 BUSD and then plus a tiny little bit. Then it's free the first X number of sends to send it. They don't even charge you a fee to send it to Binance Smart Chain. Then from there, Synapse will bridge the BUSD and convert it into USDC for a little fee. You're going to end up with like $98 in like 80 cents or something in the end, with USDC sitting on DFKchain. Versus if you buy Avalanche or something, okay, you do get hit with a little bit more of a fee. Then you send the Avalanche, and then you got to send it in, and then you got to sell the Avalanche. There's more fees involved, especially if you're doing it from like crypto.com and some of the other ones.
Yeah, I think I used Coinbase quite a bit. I got Binance US, and like I actually KYC'd with a ton of like super small chains. I want to say like MEX T or MEXX or something like for a long time. As soon as they started needing KYC, I tried to kind of like get in there just because I wanted to have an account in case, you know, like what happens, because the future's unknown. But yeah, I think Coinbase wasn't charging me fees, so that's the way I was doing it. Basically, is I was buying AVAX
in USDC. That's a good point. So they don't charge you a fee when you just buy the USDC, and then you send off the USDC to the Ethereum chain, or does it? Did it send it up to Polygon or something?
No, I don't know if they're not charging anymore, but I had some kind of like a special. I think I deposit a certain amount, and then I had free trades or whatever. Like free transfers, because I literally was buying AVAX, not paying fees, and then sending it to my wallet, and then immediately into Crystal Vale.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I think most people, I guess you have to look at your time, like what's your time worth versus what the gas is or whatever. Like average people that are just coming into the situation are gonna like be like 10 cents. So that's what it costs me, or 50 cents or whatever. And they're gonna be like, I don't want to pay that though. People that have been in crypto, they're just gonna click the button. You know, they're just clicking it.
But there's still an exchange rate fee, I think, that's hidden there though with Coinbase.
There could be. Yeah, there could be.
They and crypto.com has gotten way worse on those. They technically don't charge you a fee on crypto.com, but for example, to buy Avalanche, you're going to look at CoinGecko and you're going to see Avalanche is at, let's see, what, $17? Let me see this. Okay, Avalanche $17.62. But then you go to crypto.com and buy it, it'll be like $18.10.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you're talking about like the difference that the market maker is charging you versus what it actually is out on the market. That same thing though happens with Ramp and all those other I can't remember what it was, but I've used a couple of them before, and I remember looking on CoinMarketCap and seeing whatever I was buying at the time was like $100, and they were trying to charge me like 112. So I was paying that markup, and even though they said there was no fees, that is literally the fee that people don't think about for sure.
That's where if you go Binance US and buy BUSD and send it in, no fee. Okay, and then you send it Synapse into the DFK chain, minimal, very minimal fee. Okay, and then the DEX trade fee is 0.03% is all. It's like nothing. Versus that margin for the exchange rate is substantially more. It's like 3 to 5% sometimes. Plus you've got then more exchange fees and trading and sending. You know, not a bad option too is just go to KuCoin, buy some KLAY, send in the KLAY straight into the Klaytn blockchain. That's a decent way to do it as well. But yeah, but any which way is fine. Okay, so that's a difference here between DeFi Kingdoms. There's a bit of an onboarding learning curve, and then the in-game learning curve. I'm going to be really working hard to figure out ways on how to simplify adoption for beginners for DFK.
Yep.
That's
going to be really important, because like even what Maddie's talking about, PvP has to be fun. I think that's the number one. That's got to be the number one goal, because if it's not fun, it doesn't matter that it works. And like you might love it, I might love it, and other DFK people that are like have been here for life that are already kind of like in it, they're gonna like it, and they're gonna be like, "This is the best. What's your problem?" But we're all biased. You know what I mean? And so I'm thinking about it from somebody new coming into it. Like, how are you going to tell your friend to get into DFK when you have a level 40 hero that's going to kill him every time? And you're like, bro, just get it. Just spend like $150 or $200, come in here and you'll have a great time. Well, if he loses every single time, he's done. You know, like unless somehow it's addicting and then they want to spend more money to like level their guys up or whatever. I mean, think about those kind of games.
That's right.
It's literally got to be fun to play.
Yes, they can buy if they really want to get into it. You know, so as far as like when I first got into DFK, I was just a DeFi guy. I just bought up some Jewel, wanted to provide some liquidity, and that was that. And that's great. See, a lot of people will just, that's all they'll do. They don't want to mess with heroes and all that. No problem, because they believe in the project. They believe in the team. They believe in the game, but they don't want to play the game. So they're going to buy Jewel and either put it in the jeweler or whatever, put it in the gardens. They could put their Bitcoin and Jewel together or whatever. Okay.
Yep.
That's what a lot of people did and will do. But then as time went on, I've got kids. I was kind of like trying to get them to play these types of games instead of buy them games. And they're spending all this time.
You're trying to get your kids to pump your bags, bro. What's going on with you?
What's that? What's that?
I was saying you're getting your kids in there to pump your own bags, but it's like your own money you're spending.
I had them like
right?
children slave labor, playing this game to make me money, baby. Okay.
They're the bots. They're clicking the buttons. Yeah, it's it's just a joke.
And I think it'll be hard to bot with combat, but I'm sure eventually AI will be able to do that. I don't know how that's going to work.
Well, PvP combat is a different thing than PvE combat, though, right? Because you could bot PvE as long as you can read the statistics. You can probably bot it. Because people have made some insane bots that even like have cameras and look at screens and are able to figure all that kind of stuff out or whatever. I mean, that's kind of insane because the average user is not going to probably buy that bot to do that, especially depending on the cost. But yeah, I mean, I think PvE could definitely potentially get botted, but the PvP side of it, I mean, I don't know. I guess if your heroes are like the best, maybe.
Yeah. And so that's what I did. I started buying up some of the best heroes because I wanted to have some of the best heroes in the game. And that's just kind of how it works. It's like a slow progression. And I, of course, learned everything the hard way. You got to learn how the in-game economy works, the markets. And so I'm going to be focused with DFK here at some point on how to help bring in new players and make it simple, as simple as possible. It starts with the jeweler. Buy up some Jewel, go to the jeweler. Okay. And then even explain those mechanics. You know how that works. You know how the jeweler pays out Jewel in the jeweler.
Yeah. One thing I was just going to say real quick is, you know how like if you buy a really cool video game, Diablo 4 is just coming out, bunch of people beta tested it, including myself. And it's like $100 if you buy the best version of that game that they offered at that point. Obviously not the majority of people are going to do that. They're going to get like the $59 version or whatever, but all you have to do is spend $59 and you get a game and you can play it for hours. And like, there's thousands of hours of content for you to absorb. So how do you take something like that and apply it to Jewel, DFK, whatever? Like, how awesome would it be if you could go to a website, spend $100 and like somehow get a wallet that's already like pre-configured, set up or whatever, and you're good to go in the game, or at least get started or whatever. Those are the kind of things that I sometimes think about. Like, obviously there's a trust issue there, and that might be kind of like hardcore because you got private keys and all this other kind of stuff with somebody setting up a wallet, but it's got to be like a point and click solution. Like, I load up my website to get into DFK. I click on a thing. I watch a couple of your videos. I see, okay, this game does look pretty cool. I do want to try it. So how do I click one button or maybe two buttons and get into this system? Yep. I think that's the point, but also that's only kind of like step one. You still have to have a product to basically sell somebody on, right? Like, it doesn't matter how good you are at a marketer. Eventually, if you're saying this is the best thing ever and you're literally showing footage playing PvP and people don't think it's fun, they're not going to show up. You know what I mean? And so that's like, I know there's people in crypto. I think we're talking like about two different people, right? You have people in crypto. They are going to love it. And they're going to be like, oh, this is incredible. Let's get over here, check it out. Then you're going to have people outside of crypto and gamers specifically that are playing even super cheap games you buy on Steam for like $2, and they're having fun for hours and hours and hours. You know what I mean? Like, there's a different reality there. And that's kind of the adoption side of it. How do you get those people to want to give it a try? I don't know. That's the hard part, I think.
Yeah. Well, and a big part of it too is the opportunity to gain. It's crypto. And so if this thing gets adoption and starts pumping, even if the people who aren't gamers, they're going to want to have a piece of that pie, and they're going to be buying Jewel. That's maybe getting into some of the gardens.
Yep. No, I agree with you 100% there. in the bull market, leading up to the bull market, when that stuff starts happening, people will buy it having no idea. They don't plan on playing the game. They don't care about PvP. They're going to buy it because it's an investment for them. And it's a speculative asset where they're like, oh, yeah, I can just hold this, or maybe I can yield farm or whatever. So I 100% agree with you on that side of it. I'm just saying, like, long term, beyond this bull run, like, what happens with DFK? What does the future bring if they do make a really cool, unique experience with items and potions and like leveling up your characters or whatever, and then having seasons like professional games or whatever? I mean, maybe that's not really the goal, but if they, like, imagine if they could capture that, this would be like the biggest, best project ever to come out.
Yes.
You know, like, period, hands down.
Right.
So,
and as far as people getting in right now, yeah, they can't play a game yet, but just to get acclimated into the ecosystem and start prepping if they want to play the game is going to take a couple months. If they really want to be serious and play the game, it's going to take a while to learn summoning, to learn all the genetic traits within the heroes, to learn the in-game economy, to learn all of that stuff, dark summoning and how it all works, the ins and outs and what to target, and then research the skills like in this freaking spreadsheet, right? The Wowie spreadsheet, and learn.
man,
and then you want to get together the right teams. You want to have the right subclass, okay, and have this perfect, awesome team that you can smoke everyone. It's not, oh man, and I'm not even sharing my screen. It's killing me.
Bro, it's funny because you're DFK crazy. Like, I love it because, like, I mean, you're selling me on it. I love it. I'm just saying, it's so funny because you want to get into all that kind of stuff. I think that what if somebody, maybe there's a objective of like, just show somebody how to streamline PvP because that's what they want to do. And maybe they could just specifically get there and they don't care about all the rest of that stuff or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think like you got to hook somebody, right? It's like catching a fish. So you show them DFK, you show them some PvP, whatever. They come in, they look at it, and that's like their first barrier. They're like, okay, this is pretty cool. Then they start buying up assets. Then they start buying up NFTs and all that other kind of stuff. That's the kind of way that I like it. Just, that's the side of it that makes sense to me. Like, most people don't want to spend 8 hours reading stuff. You know what I mean? Like, trying to figure out how to make it work for them. So that's, I mean, at least from my own perspective, I think that would be awesome. Like, making some good entry level videos on here's how you can get in here and have fun. And then you follow that up with, okay, now let's get more advanced or whatever. Plus, even doing something live like this right now, I think would be a great way. PvP comes out, you're talking with somebody, you're doing like a 5 hour, 6 hour stream or whatever it is, and you're just talking about the game, you're playing it, and you're showing people. I think that is, you know, a good way.
Yes, there will be no shortage of that content, believe me. Several people here in the chat are going to be doing DeFi Kingdoms tutorials all day long. I mean, it's going to be like blown up. Even like what you just did on your video the other day. And so to answer your question, Musa, we're talking crypto gaming, baby. We're talking about currently right now, we're talking about DeFi Kingdoms. I love it. And Dragon's Crossing. We're going to get to that a little bit. But what you did right here on this video, DeFi Kingdoms combat system and review. Okay. I thought that was great, by the way. There's so many doing that right now, and it's so fun. But the sentiment of the ecosystem is still so low when the fundamentals of the project has never been higher. And so
it's hard. Yeah, it's hard in crypto, man, because it's in so many projects like that too. Like, I mean, I talk with so many people that are all, I'm not gonna compare them to you because you're definitely a level above, but they, you know, they're pumped about their own projects. They're talking it up. They're like, why is this thing not rocket shipping to the moon, to Mars, whatever? Like, what's preventing us from being there? And the thing about it is that, unfortunately, I think you got to have people that want to spend money. You got to get liquidity. You got to get people in there doing things so that they start seeing the volume. And that's what starts bringing people in, because as that price starts to pump, more people are attracted to it. If it's not pumping, then people are just like sitting on the sidelines waiting for that pump. And unfortunately, most people are probably going to miss the first, 50, 100%, you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5x. And that's when they're going to look at Jewel and go, because that's what happens, you know, and then they start buying in. And I don't know.
You just nailed it right there. You nailed it. So when the sentiment increases And I talk about this all the time on why I believe the sentiment will soon increase very rapidly. We're going to have people, more and more YouTubers popping up with little videos like this, talking about, oh, it's a game. Or other people will be, you know, we're going to have traders looking at the charts of Jewel and tiers. The tiers in the game are going to be such a driver, I think, for this whole ecosystem. And that because when pet utility comes, that will, and then first of all, a year ago, we had 55,000 daily active wallets. Okay.
Yep.
And so when pet utility comes, it's going to wake some people up because it's going to instantly drive up the price of tiers because we got to have 200 tiers to hatch an egg to have the pets. As long as the pets are worth owning and worth having, okay, when it's actually going to be profitable to own a pet. It's real world. You plug in, you combine a pet with a hero, you send them questing, and you double the rewards for, you know, your questing, which is that's how we're going to get more tiers to hatch more eggs, do more pets, do more stamp pots, do dark summoning, do more summoning. Got to have tiers for everything. Okay. And so as long as the pet utility is strong, it's going to drive up the market of the game, which will wake some people up and bring up the sentiment. Plus a sex listing for Jewel, plus this next Crypto Gem TV show, I'm hoping brings a whole lot of, we got George, I believe. And George, see, I've already connected with George quite a bit on the game. And I had already kind of like turned him back a little bit more bullish towards DeFi Kingdoms.
Nice.
and other people like that. And then they start talking about it, and it's like an avalanche. It's like a snowball that turns into an avalanche coming down the mountain. And yes. Okay.
Yep.
So that's why I'm pumped about DFK. Fundamentals of the project. It's bear market. Fundamentals strong. Partnership strong. Developers are developing. Third-party developers. There's also this game called Fight Club. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. It's super fun. You can jump in there and play on Discord. And it's now.
Are you talking? No, you're not talking about the one. Like there was one that came out a while ago where you had your heroes, you put up some gold. I can't remember what that was called. That was like a third party thing, but yes, I remember looking at those projects too.
Yes, that's DFK Arena. Okay. Discord. So you can now come in to Discord and play. And it's also, so there's a Fight Club Discord where you can play this game. But it's also now embedded into the DeFi Kingdoms Discord. And so when you scroll down here, you're going to find a spot where it says Fight Club. I just went right on past it. Voice channels, Fight Club. So find fights. And there's lots of content. Like Bogside Chats has some phenomenal beginner videos. It's not too bad. I could get you going in an hour or two and make you pretty confident to go kick some ass. And it's like esport level game already. You play with your hero. So fun. And it's a blast. They do tournaments all the time. And you can get raffle tickets just like with duels. So this functions similar to how duels functions. Okay. And it's right there. Okay. So that was a big recent breakthrough. So the third-party devs are developing. There's content creators creating content, training videos, this, that, and the other. But it is still a little bit of a barrier. Okay, but I think we're going to help bridge that. It happened last year. It'll happen again as long as all these fundamental pieces are in place and they come back.
Yep.
Okay. So then you look at a project like Dragon's Crossing. Okay. Let's hit on this before we wrap up because I got to go. My kids are playing
no problem.
The game. Okay, with this, I think it's going to be a lot more simple for any Joe Schmo to come in and play. I think it'll be an addictive game, very addictive game. There's going to be contests, seasonal contests. There's going to be different ways to compete, and it won't take a ton of time, I don't think. Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be a little easier access to play. And I think they've really taken pains to make the tokenomics right, do it right. So that's a big focus of theirs. Their focus is the game, It's not. Whereas DeFi Kingdoms is like this cross-chain DEX, massive vision behind it. And it's like endless, all the things you can do. Whereas this is very focused on just the game itself, strong tokenomics, an addictive, fun game to play, okay, that any Joe Schmo can come in and play 15, 20 minutes a day, you know, and then compete. If play to earn, you talked about that on your video. You like the play to earn aspect. There's an opportunity to make money if you play well in the game.
Yep.
And that's what it's going to be all about. I love the chat is just blown up. I love it. I'm behind. Yeah. Maddie Peskin, Wowee, man, they're your gaming gurus. So I think it's going to be legit and fun.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that aspect. I think that the key is making sure that there's multiple different, kinds of games people play, and some of them are super basic, but they're still addictive and they're very successful. So a card game where you're flipping over cards, but you have strategy and there's, you got to learn about it and you got to strategize, and that's how you can do better. Those are the key things that I like about a project like Dragon's Crossing, because of the fact that it seems like those who are going to be willing to learn more about how it's going to work are going to potentially benefit more, not just if you buy a Gen 0 or you've been in the game for a year, let's say. And I think that's kind of like the key aspect of making a game fun.
Yeah.
If you have a leaderboard and there's a way to get to the top of that leaderboard at any point, then that alone sometimes can be addicting, because people want to play because they want to get to the top of the leaderboard. And then the leader wants to play because he wants to hold his position.
Yep.
And so that is kind of, that's a really good strategy to keep people playing.
That's right.
And I think it's hard if you don't have something like that.
Yep.
Then you have hype in the beginning and then it just kind of fizzles. Like
right.
Most,
and so they wanted a game ready to go on day one. That's fun to play with lots of strategy, but not too crazy insane, to jump in and play, but still a lot of strategy. A lot of it is just, you're going to have to figure out when you want to go back to safety. Okay. And then that's when you get your NFTs, you get your weapons, your items that you went from questing and killing monsters. You're going to have to decide how far do you want to go, the risk versus reward, because if you die, you lose all those items.
And I love that aspect. I think that there's a lot of really addicting games out there that have that kind of built into them, where it's basically like risk reward and how far are you going to go before it's an issue. And I think that unfortunately a lot of people are going to go too far, but that's going to make it fun. Because could you imagine, like, if you're streaming, you're making content about a game and you're talking about something, and then people are playing it, and could you imagine, like, I'm in here doing my stuff and I'm like, okay, I think I can kill this one more monster, but I got a big old bag and I lose it. Imagine just having a meltdown on stream, freaking out about it, like, no, and just how cool that could be to be able to share that experience with people. And I think that that's one thing I like about Dragon's Crossing for sure.
Yes, I'm so pumped for it. And a big focus too on sustainable tokenomics and sustainable in-game, like with the items. I don't think we'll be over flooded with items. I don't think, or heroes. So only the Genesis heroes can get the shards, and the shards it's like hatching an egg, kind of. That's how you get a new hero, which is called a Rift hero. The Rift heroes can't get the shards. They can still play the game. You still compete with those Rift heroes, but the Rift heroes won't get you more heroes. The Genesis heroes will do that. And
I think that makes sense, right? Because that's a method of not only like a whitelist side of it, but also there's a reason to have that Gen 0, and that's to get additional heroes that then you can either quest with or sell on the market. And that's part of that, potential profiting side of things. So I think that makes a lot of sense. I really like that aspect, because people you think about what makes you happy, what makes you feel good, what raises your dopamine levels, so that you really want to go research, you want to play a game, whatever. And it's when you can get involved to the extent where it's like, I get rewarded. I do this, I get rewarded. Now I can sell this. Now I can do whatever.
Yeah.
And not to jump off track, but I was playing a different game that's brand new, and I got a mythical item, and I was like, bro, this is awesome. So I listed it on their marketplace, and it sold for like $15. So I made $15 just the other day. Okay, $15, big deal. But still, I made $15, and I was like, it works. You know what I mean? I'm like, it works.
Right.
So that's pretty awesome.
Is it one of these two that you recently did?
Yeah. I didn't show it in it, but it's if I'm saying it right, it's Aurorum, I think is the name of the game, but it's blockchain. So that company makes blockchain games. I mean, that's kind of how they're branching separately, I guess. And I don't know if they started out that way or if that's what they just eventually got to, but they have 2 different games that they've already made. And I mean, you know, they're not like breaking the mold or anything. Yeah. Most average gamers are going to look at it and think that it's not good. I mean, that's just the reality. Sure. But if you can show people that it's fun to play and you have a good time playing it, I think that that's a couple steps in the right direction. And I think that's key because, you know, if you're here to make money, you have to be able to show the proof that people can make money or they won't play. Yeah. You know, and if it's really fun, then people will play even if they're not making money. You know what I mean? So it's like, where you got to figure out that balance. And, you know, definitely, I think the barrier to entry is the hardest thing that a lot of companies can't get beyond because they launch on these, you know, blockchains where maybe something's going to happen in the future. But if your target audience is, let's say, America, I'm just going to say America just to keep it simple since I'm from the USA. But still, if you're targeting a specific audience that has money now, that is willing to play now, you know, you got to make sure that you can appeal to that. And if you can't, then like, you're kind of fumbling the ball already. And at that point, where do you go? You know, where do you go from there? So,
yeah, man. Yeah. You'll be able to get these items that will help you in the questing to kill monsters to get more items, but they'll also have, I believe, a monetary value that you can sell them for. And so there'll be an economy there.
Yeah. And if they're NFTs, so I'm going to make assumptions. But if these items are actually NFTs, and this is another thing I really like is when you play the game, I'm going to assume this is how it works. You go on a quest. You don't have to pay any fees yet. You start attacking, you start doing your stuff, whatever, and you start building up a bag of items. So NFT items, maybe consumables, gold, whatever. So you build up that bag of items. When you leave that quest, you're going to be back at like your main area. And I'm assuming maybe you still don't have to pay a fee. But as soon as you want to claim your stash, let's say that bag you've got, then that's the point where you have to pay a fee. Gas fee, you know, to claim those items. And at that point, that's when that conversion happens and it goes to your wallet. And then you should be able to go to OpenSea or any of those blockchain explorers that can look at it. And you should see them as NFT items. Therefore, you could sell them there or inside of the game. So it's pretty cool.
Exactly right. You just hit it on the head. They're all going to be NFTs that you can buy and sell on OpenSea. All these items. There's going to be different rarity for these items. And so that's another thing too about the game is the rarity of the hero. I believe my understanding, and I still don't, I'm still a little bit foggy on some of these things, but I believe the rarity of the hero will not help you in the actual PvP, PvE aspect of the game, but it will.
I think that's what they said.
Yeah, it will help you in the rarity of the items that you're getting. Cool. See, that's what will make a more rare hero more valuable is the items that you get.
Yep.
So everyone's on an even level playing field. That's a big part of it. I love it. So GF Burke, this guy is a big crypto lifer guy. Shout out to Crypto Lifer. You know who that is. Love that guy. Okay. And so, yeah, kids are doing that now with TF2 and Web2. I gave my son all my stuff since I played TF2. Since it was new, he makes money. What's TF2? Do you know what that is? Interesting.
I think he's talking like Team Fortress. I never really got into Team Fortress, but there's a ton of different games out there where you can win skins, win specific items. Mostly it's in the form of skins. And there's like huge markets that came out where people are selling accounts. Sometimes people sell their entire accounts. They level up accounts and then just sell accounts because people don't want to grind, you know? So it's kind of insane.
Okay. So Dags is saying these items are not NFTs. I'll double check on that. Only heroes, skill books, and shards. Okay.
And that could be like maybe even healing items you know, I guess could potentially be in that because it just depends on how it affects your character, right? But if you have to heal your character, then maybe there is an NFT for the heal side of it, and then there may be a fee there. But I mean, I'm waiting for that the white paper and more information because I want to read it and figure it out and see how it works. I just know from other games kind of like how they did it.
Yeah.
Some of it I like, some of it I don't like because I think every time you make a transaction, there should be a point for that transaction.
Yeah.
So if you just go out and you do your questing or whatever, I don't, you know, hopefully there's no transactions involved and basically in of that. You might have to sign a message to prove you are who you are, but you go do all the work and then you have that big old bag. And when you want to claim that bag, that should be probably the only transaction. Yep. And then you get those items. And then some things though do have to, like, you know, they got to have a point of that token, right? So there's got to be like a place where you can heal your hero faster, do other aspects of it, some kind of a market where you're buying and selling items or whatever. So I don't know like how they keep those items off chain, like server side, I guess, let's say, and then still use an on chain token, if that makes sense. Like maybe they would have gold in the game that you could do all this stuff with, and then you cash that gold out. So all the gold server side, and then you cash it out on the blockchain to whatever the token is. I mean, I don't know. I've seen a lot of really interesting ways to do it. I just think minimizing the fees you have to pay is going to be important because right now fees almost everywhere are actually really cheap if you think about it. Because during the bull market, when a ton of people are getting on here, fees are going to seem the same, but you're going to be paying 40 and 50 cents or whatever instead of 4 cents. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to start scaling as things happen. So,
yeah, maybe. Yeah, that'll be interesting on how that shakes out for sure.
Yep.
So good points, all that. I'll have to shout out to Ken. How are you doing, my man? I was chatting with him last night. Okay, so yeah, this will be interesting. I thought all these items are also NFTs, but I could be wrong on that. So another aspect here with Dragon's Crossing is I'm going to be left in the dark always. I'm going to be, I'm in the same boat. I'm on the team, but I'm also, it's almost like I'm not on the team and I'm not included in on most all these meetings. I don't know what the heck's going on most of the time. And I think that's
good for you.
Yes, because
that's good for you.
Doing regular streams from the perspective of the community. And I wanted it that way too, because I hate keeping secrets. I hate it. It's like torture. Okay.
Transparency is important, man, because as soon as you lose your transparency nature, the project, the people behind the project, like what the biggest thing that I've noticed is your persona, like what you do in the blockchain, you're going into a bunch of different discords, what you put up on YouTube, whatever, that follows you everywhere. So people know about you because of this, of how you treat other people, what you do, your own content, how you act, whatever. So when you tell people that the team's not going to play a game, but then you bring somebody on the team who's playing the game, you know what I mean? Like, I personally may not care as much about that because I actually personally would like the team to play because that's another source of revenue and interactions and things happening in the game. As long as there's not like some kind of an insider advantage, that's the only thing I wouldn't like.
And that's the big thing they don't want. Like they don't want even the appearance of that. So I will be playing the game, but I don't think, I think how we're going to work this out is I'll still be able to compete and play the game, but I don't think I'm going to play and win money from playing.
You're just going to send it all to me. Thank you, sir. I'll send my, no, I was saying, you're just going to send it all to me. I'll send you my ETH address. Actually, you know what? Another thing you could do is give items away, you know, like live on stream, you're playing the game and you're winning items and you could literally just give them away. And, you know,
I'll be doing that anyways. And I'll see,
that'll be cool.
Conduit between where anybody in the community can reach out to me anytime, give feedback, ideas, whatever. And I'm a part of the team. I can just go, I'm right there. I can.
Nice.
So I'm going to be accessible, available. I'm going to hopefully be doing almost daily videos. Even it'll be, and I'll be a guru in the game. Right now, I'm still not. Like I'm still, I'm getting there though. And to where anybody, it'll be like daily AMAs. And I'll be bringing on different people of the team on a regular basis to talk through things. And then I'll be connecting the community to the team on a regular.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
And so the blockchain still isn't announced yet. GF Burke, it's coming soon. It's coming, I think, within possibly the next week. It sounds like the announcement. for the blockchain.
Make sure you're in the Discord, you're looking on Twitter and stuff like that. Cause I actually got in the Discord and I was searching like everywhere, just trying to see if anybody dropped any hints, you know, like what blockchain they might go out on. Cause that stuff's really interesting to me because, you know, it's nice to be able to get set up ahead of time because sometimes projects like this start hitting off and like, let's say it went on to like some chains are not going to pump, but other chains will pump. You know, look, even with what happened to Klaytn a little bit before DFK moved there was a pump. And had you thought about that ahead of time, you could have bought some and then sold it
and
made some profit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
I bought it when it was down around 14, 15, 16 cents and it went all the way up to 37 cents.
And that's the way. Yep.
And DFK was on the chain at that time, by the way. It was already there. Yeah.
Nice. Well, yeah, Klaytn pumped a couple times, right? I mean, I didn't really follow it, but it definitely pumped a couple times.
It had previous pumps too before we came on. That's right. So that I think is going to be a fun part for me is that I'll be regularly here and I probably will only play the game when I'm live.
That'll be cool.
I think. So I'll be here so everybody can reach out at any time. They're going to be seeing what's going on. I love it. Yeah, the alpha from the alpha. Yes. So I'm going to be doing videos on the test of the game. Summoning shards and skill books you need. Okay. Yeah, and also on as far as the blockchains, here's what I know they've looked at, and he talks about this. He talked about this on the show. He looked at Avalanche, he looked at DFKchain, he looked at Polygon, he's been looking at Arbitrum. I know he mentioned those four. He might have mentioned another one too.
So here's what I tried to do because this is like a little bit of alpha that I got from that last stream. Yeah. So you guys were talking about the blockchain that Dragon's Crossing was going to launch on. And what I picked up is the team knows about obviously several different blockchains, yet somebody that came onto your stream said, hey, I actually do know the chain they're going to launch on because I introduced them to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? So I heard that. And then I was trying to do a little bit of research and figure out like what chains is he involved in that maybe these guys wouldn't have known about, newer chains, different markets, whatever. Like I started going all crazy, getting into you know, the weeds and that stuff because that's what I like to do. And I'm just like, man, that's hard for me because, you know, it'd be nice to know which blockchain it's on for sure.
Right. Yeah. But so we're going to find out soon on that. But they already have test nets set up on all these different blockchains. So they're already testing the game. So my test net, they have a test net. It's just on one of these blockchains.
And that's good too, because you can search blockchain explorers and find projects because I've done it before. And it's good that you said that because they may have multiple test nets that they've already set up, but it might not be the chain it actually launches on. So I don't know. You got to be careful with that too, because random tokens come out and, you know, don't click bad links, all that kind of stuff.
Right. So on the test net that I'm using, they even told me last night that it probably even won't be the chain that I'm using.
Yeah.
That's what they told me. But it is one they strongly considered. I know that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Dags is saying that they tested on multiple blockchains. People have tracked Bloater Punch's wallet. That's the same thing I was going to do too, just to see, because like people don't think about it a lot of times, but if somebody knows your wallet and you're like, you should use a different wallet. You know, if you can send some money to a new wallet from a centralized exchange. So it's not tracked by average people. Because otherwise, when people know what your wallet is, they can start tracking everything and seeing what you're doing. And I don't know, maybe that's kind of some of the game and some of the FOMO and hype and whatever around it. So
you know, So there's a lot going on right now in crypto too, out there. Because Arbitrum was one of the chains they're looking at, but they've had a lot of FUD come against them too recently, which I don't know how legit that is, but it is a little concerning if they're looking at that one. So, there's
no way it's going to be ETH. Like you could not play a game on ETH.
Not
I mean, unless you're absolutely filthy rich. Like $30 for to like camp. I don't think so.
Right. Camp. You end for the day. You go to camp. Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody in the description below, make sure you follow this guy. Crazy Basement Life. He puts out classy, awesome videos. Follow him, both his YouTube and his Twitter. Okay. And he's going to be giving away some whitelists for Dragon's Crossing soon, baby. I'm going to help him with that. I'll be your point man on that. Anything you need, I can even come on and help you do it. So
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, baby. Love you. My kids, I think I'm late picking them up from soccer. But really,
man, real life, bro. You got to get on it. I can come back anytime.
I can't. Hey, seriously, let's have you on again. Let's do. You get more questions, and so again, soon, especially when this game comes out, I'm going to be doing this every day, bringing people on, playing the game, answering questions. Let's go. And I'm not going to slow. It's only ramped me up, right? This is giving me life and energy. I'm still going to be doing tons of DFK content nonstop, baby.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Anything else? Anything you want to end with?
Man, I had a great time. I really like that intro that gets people pumped up, not only listeners, people that, you know, show up, but also I was just like jamming out. And I was thinking to myself, man, I hope he's not showing me. Like on the camera, I'm just like rocking out.
No, sometimes I will just to
yeah.
You dance.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
Yep. But I mean, yeah, this was a great time. Thanks so much for having me here. I'll come back anytime, and definitely I'll shoot you a couple DMs. But yeah, I mean, if you need help with editing and some of that kind of stuff, I don't want to like overextend myself, but I can help you with some things that you need. I got no problem doing that. So
okay, I'll reach out with some questions on this Da Vinci one. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're gonna do it again. Follow this guy. Yes. Love you.
Yeah, and thanks for the chat too.
Whitelist giveaway codes here soon. Maybe not right away, but later on tonight.
Yep.
Okay, man. Love you guys. Crazy basement life in crypto. Grady out. Peace.